Hey YouTube. So it's Friday, the 15th, and it's raining out there. Sometimes it's sleet, sometimes it's a couple snow flurries. So actually a pretty crummy day as far as the outside weather goes. The roads are getting slipperier and slipperier because of it freezing on the ground in some places. Where the sun hits, other places it's not frozen. So, but anyway, I'll show you the project I'm working on today. What I have here is, this is a piece of cast iron here that's used in one of the coal stoves so that you can bank the coal up, and it keeps the coal from going against the door and falling out onto the floor. And it's not unusual. Now this stove has been there for about 10 years. The stove's probably, let's see, that stove is probably 25, 35 years old. And this is the original, I'm trying to think of a word to describe this, probably like a bulkhead almost. So this is like a bulkhead for coal. Not sure if that's what they call it, but you can see that it's melted through from being a little overheated here and there. It's not bad. This is normal. What I don't get is why does cast iron warp? If there's any metallurgists out there and you guys may know about this, maybe you can leave a message. So I had a buddy of mine pick me up a piece of 1/2-inch steel, or I don't know where he got it, but it doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch this out here and take that piece and build these ears up so that I can take that steel and slip it back into place. So I'll be working on that today. And it's always something. So anyway, a couple of years ago, the stove that's in our house had this same kind of baffle in it, or not baffle, but like bulkhead for the coal, so you can bank it, and it did the same thing as this did. The problem with this, besides it affecting the grates when you go to shake them, because this thing is warped so bad, that's actually supposed to be straight. Because it's warped so bad, it affects the grates a little bit when you go to shake them, so you don't get the full movement of the grate. So it's harder to get the ashes out. The other thing is that and I don't know why, like I say, that cast iron does this, but the other thing with it is that once the hole goes in here, you end up with coal coming close to the door, and you know those coals can be red hot, and I literally mean red. And they may pop out of the door when you open the door. So I found out that putting steel, like this plate steel, lasts a lot longer, doesn't give you near the headaches that cast iron does. I don't know why the cast iron is doing what it's doing, but so anyway, I'm going to mark this now and then we'll cut it. Because it's a 1/2 inch thick, I'm probably not going to use the plasma cutter. I'll probably use a saw to cut that, or a grinder to cut that thing. We'll see here. Well guys, I finally gave up my old coat. Sally had bought me a new one last year and I wasn't wearing it. So because I had the egg in the pocket, she said she thinks it's time for this one to go. So it looks like somebody's enjoying it. Last night he slept on it. So now I'm wearing a new coat. So if you take a look at this thing, basically to the face of this, you're looking at, well, it shows 3/4 there, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, 5/8, 3/4. So it sticks out 1.25 inches out the back. Just so happens that when I mark this and cut it, this is 1.25 inches. So when I cut this will be perfect to cut tabs welded onto here to make it look like this. It doesn't have to have all these things, just these hangers keep it locked into some grooves that are in the bottom of the stove. And this is like one of them crazy weather days. It's only I don't know, been 5 minutes since I just made the video of it raining, and now you can see just like that this blew in. So sunny is nice, and it's a little bit above freezing, I believe, so hopefully it'll melt some of the snow on the road and on the driveway. Well, it takes a while using that, but I'll tell you one thing, you don't get a nicer cut than no matter what you use, in my opinion. So I'm going to cut this other long piece off here, get these out of here, turn them, weld them back on, and I should be in good shape. You can make nice cuts with a grinder. You just have to be steady. I've cut so much stuff with this little grinder that I am actually fairly steady with it. I mean, if you look at the cut that I just made there, that thing is straight, that short cut. It's a nice clean cut. Sometimes you can get off. The main thing is to get the first line down through there, and once you get the first groove cut in, then it'll usually keep you in that groove. You got to watch a little bit about what you're doing, but you can make some nice cuts with a grinder. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. If you have a bigger plasma cutter that can definitely cut 1/2 inch without gouging and boogering it all up, then use that. But for right now, this does a better job than the plasma cutter for what I want. I want these square edges on here and stuff because once this thing heats up, it'll make it better, make it stronger than if I have jagged edges all over. Sucker's definitely hot. Okay, I'm going to leave that cool off a little bit. To just shape it up a little on the edges there so the sharp edges aren't on it. So when I grab it I don't cut myself. And then I'm going to weld these little tabs on there. Okay, that's what it's going to look like when I put the tabs on there. So I need to mark them. I need 1.5 sticking up there, so 1.5. So that's going to be going like that. And then I'm going to weld that on there. Same thing with this side. Okay, so I'll move that over to the welder and I'll weld that. Watch your eyes. I'm going to put a little more weld on there. I need my chipping hammer here. There's no real stress or anything on there, but it does get hot. It should never get hot enough to melt steel, that's for certain, or else we're in big trouble. However, just want to put a little extra welding on there. Now this should be just what I need for up there. I'll take you up to the stove with me and we'll take a look at how it fits. Okay. Come on, Bullseye. Let's go. Okay, guys, so we're at the stove. I just want to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole right over there. And then there's one on the other side, right in there. And that's where those tabs go. So this, like I say, is a little bulkhead that's used to hold the coal back so it doesn't hit the door or, you know, roll out the door when you open the door. So I gotta shut the camera off for a second till I put it in place, but you'll see what it looks, excuse me, you'll see what it looks like when I'm done here. Okay, so it's about 30 seconds later. You can see that the tabs fit down in the holes on both sides there, and this thing is sitting nicer. Now it has a little movement to it, but once the ashes get in around it and everything, it'll stay still. And besides, even if it moves, it's not going to matter. But the main thing here, and I need to clean out the ash pan because I want to build a fire. The main thing here is you see how nice and easy the grates move. See, when that thing was bent in, I don't know if you can see it in there, but when it was bent inward, it actually stops the grates from rolling nicely. And for those of you who are ever looking at a stove to buy, see how square the nice square cut is on those grates? That means that that stove is in good shape. The grates is what you want to look at, because on a coal stove the grates are everything, pretty much. Okay guys, so that's another fix for today. I don't know how much it saved me or not. Actually, my neighbor, because I plow his driveway for him, gave me this piece of steel as well as 4 bottles of diesel conditioner for in the backhoe. So, you know, it pays to have friends and stuff, and we go back and forth with different things. But so anyway, that's it. And I didn't have to go anywhere to get it, just do the work. So I got some wood here split, and I'm going to make a fire. Crumble up paper first, put it in the bottom, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, so we had some paper and wood in there. You can see the longer pieces, that's the wood that's burning up. So this fire needs some more coal on it. And you can put the coal almost as high as this baffle here, or this bulkhead, and when you do that then you'll have the coal, what they call, banked up, and it'll be good if you dampen it by sliding the slider here, the damper a little bit, closing the pipe off a little bit up there after you get it to burn some of the gases off with the blue flames, which you'll see. But then you got a nice fire there. So I got to put more coal on this and let it get hot, and then I can dampen it. Guys, this is a different stove. This is a stove that I have in my garage, and if you look here you'll see how straight that is. I mean, it has a little bit of a bow to it, but I put that plate in there, oh man, many years ago. So it's held up pretty good. I mean, you can see it did warp a little and it's bending, you know, in a curve like this. Probably it bends because the heat's on the other side. It's fairly cool on this side, and you know, the metal has to do something, so it expands with the heat and then ends up pushing that direction. Now this one is a little different. This doesn't have ears on it. This actually has a metal plate that hangs in there on both sides, and you have to make like a U here to be able to put this one in. But nonetheless, they work very well. You know, and as long as it's not hitting the grate, so when you you know, shake it, it doesn't give you any problems. See that that's working good there. That just is fine. Okay guys, that's enough for one day. Have a good one. Bye.